Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is going on? Welcome back to another very special video on the channel. It's good vibes here at 1-0. We're tuning the content out. As you can see by the thumbnail and the title, bit of a different concept we've got coming to you, okay? It's good vibes, it's good energy. That's why 1-0, if you haven't heard, the people call it the home of football vibes. So you're going to want to stick around. What I'm going to do is I've got the whole Manchester United squad right in front of me. I've got everyone from goalkeepers to strikers to bench warmers. I've got everyone. If you do want me to do your team, your favorite team, I can do an Arsenal one, I can do a Liverpool one, a Chelsea one, whatever you want to do. I can even do a Barcelona one. Drop it in the comments down below. And while you're down there, make sure to subscribe because the boys want 1k subs. So let's do it for the boys. We've just hit 400, so thank you for that very much. We'll get straight into it. It's good vibes. We've got to keep, loan, sell, and at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you who I would buy if I was in charge of Man United. Obviously, this is just my opinion, who I would keep, sell, loan, etc. If you've got your opinions, leave it in the comments below and don't roast me too much. Goalkeepers, David De Gea, Lee Grant, Henderson, Heaton, I keep them all. I think this season has to be the season where Dean Henderson plays more football. I know Ole tends to like his, Champions League goalkeeper, FA Cup goalkeeper, and Premier League goalkeeper. So Sergio Romero was a perfect example of in the Europa League. Pretty much just played all the Europa League games. Maybe De Gea takes a backward step from the Premier League, and because he does have that experience and Henderson doesn't have that high level, high pressure experience such as Champions League games, maybe De Gea becomes the Champions League goalkeeper and the FA Cup goalkeeper, and Henderson can play a lot of minutes in the Premier League. So I think that might be the best route to go there. Let me know what you think. Obviously I could say, maybe we need a younger goalkeeper. We just signed Tom Heaton, but it's goalkeepers, they're boring people anyway. Now we'll go down to the defenders. The defenders is an interesting one. You can see there I'm selling 2 players so far on the list. I'm loaning Brandon Williams and Tendon Menji. I think Brandon Williams, we saw the emergence of Luke Shaw having a stellar breakout season last year at a beautiful Euros tournament. Alex Tellers coming in as well means that brought in that left back position, more depth into that position. Season before that, however, Brandon Williams was getting a lot of minutes and still very young, 20 odd years old. I think the best move for him is to go elsewhere, get some more minutes, play consistent football. I know Southampton were interested in him at one point. Even a newly promoted club might even try to sign him. I think that's probably the best move for Brandon Williams, because if I'm looking at Alex Tellers and Luke Shaw, Brandon Williams isn't going to get a game over those two. I'm keeping Lindelof, keeping Maguire, Tellers, Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, all that. Diego Dalot, interesting one. I'm keeping him. If there is anyone that does get loaned out or does get sold, I think it is Diego Dalot. Obviously went on loan to AC Milan last season. I keep him purely because he can play a little bit more attacking as well. But I don't think Ole really likes him, if I'm honest with you. I don't think he really likes him. Now I'm selling Phil Jones. I'm not gonna lie. I think a lot of people have forgotten that Phil Jones still plays for Manchester United. But I think it's thanks for coming, Phil Jones. Let's just close that chapter, just finish, just bin him off. Eric Bailly is the interesting one though. I'm a massive Eric Bailly fan. I think he's awesome. I think he's great for the team morale. I think he's a very good player. There was a period last season where Lindelof was injured and Bailly had just come back, and then Bailly's keeping Lindelof out the team, and Bailly was playing with everyone saying maybe they found their second centre back. They don't need to go and spend 60 odd mil on another centre back. Gets injured. And unfortunately, Eric Bailly, that's the story of his career. Too many times he's getting injured. His hamstrings are made out of cotton. His calves are made out of cotton. So unfortunately for him, he hasn't really been able to get into that full swing of things and play consistent football, which is why, assuming we do sign another centre-back, I'm saying Eric Bailly, thank you for everything. Top bloke, top geezer. But we're going to try sell you to try get some money as well now that we can. Sell you at a decent price, if you know what I mean. So yeah, Eric Bailly and Phil Jones, I'm selling them. But like I said, at the end of the video, I'm going to say who I'm going to buy. So tune into that. Midfielders, now we've got the big boys, we've got the heavy hitters. Paul Pogba, all that talk about him leaving is nonsense. We need to give him a new contract ASAP. If we head into the season with Pogba still having, not whatever, blah, 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 the closer we do that to the season, I think it's worse for us. Get it done early, forget about it, get it off his mind, let him play his football. As we know, that's the best thing that he can do. So we're good. Juan Mata is one of those players, however, that I do want to sell. Very good player in his heyday, getting to the pointy end of his career. maybe the Premier League is a little bit too fast for him now. Maybe it's growing a bit too soon, and maybe United have got some young players who can take up his position. Yes, I know his position was mainly on the bench. However, just that sort of experience for the younger players would be more beneficial for someone as opposed to someone like Juan Mata, who's really done it all in the Premier League. And to be honest, quite underrated. His time at Chelsea was exceptional. United, he was very good as well. But just that time where he did come to United was when we didn't have a lot of success. Now, you look at the player next to him, and this is what I mean, Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard, what would you do if you were Jesse Lingard? Would you go to West Ham? Would you go to another club? Obviously, coming off a tremendous loan spell. He did just play in our pre-season friendly against Derby County. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say that he's still in the plans. We hope that he's still with us for the start of the season. Doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence, I'm not gonna lie. I do think we might try and get rid of him when we can. But for now, I think I keep Jesse Lingard because no, he's not going to start over Bruno and Pogba. But we saw what he could do. He's a player that can also jump on the wing if you need. And one thing that United got hammered by was we couldn't rest players. That depth was just not there. Bruno had to play every single game. Jesse Lingard, assuming he's on form, can come in, hopefully put up good results against a team like Newcastle. No, all due respect to Newcastle, where we should be winning, but we can try and avoid putting all our best players there, resting them up, because now we're obviously in the Champions League. Champions League has got to be more demanding than Europa League, better teams, all that sort of stuff. So when we can rest the big dogs for a couple games, but not sacrifice with some poor players, I think that's in a perfect position. Andreas Pereira, selling him, mate. Get out of here. Fred, I'll keep him. I like Fred. I think it's a position where we can improve. But I think Fred does an alright job. Bruno keeping. Amad Diallo definitely keeping. He's one for the future, definitely on the wing. Young baller. Jadon Sancho isn't on this list, but assuming we've already signed Jadon Sancho. Daniel James I sell, and part of the reason why I sell Daniel James is because I keep Amad Diallo. Diallo starts over James or gets more minutes over James any day of the week. If I'm in charge, Diallo 100%. He may not be at the same technical level as James is as of now, maybe because of age and experience, but Diallo is a good player. Very, very good player, which is why I keep James, I keep Diallo, and I say, James, thanks for everything, but you're just really not good. We head to the lower ones. We've got Palestri, I'm going to loan him out. Young winger, decent player. Scott McTominay, keep solid in that position. United need to sign a holding midfielder. Got a video, maybe the video might have come out before this, not sure. But United need the holding midfielder position to improve. Nemanja Matic, I keep purely based on that reason that I just said. If a Fred gets injured or McTominay gets injured, Matic comes in. Ideally, I'd sell Matic because I think he's an accident waiting to happen sometimes. A very good player, but not as much now, if you know what I mean. He's getting to the point of his career, a bit like a Mata. Him and a Mata are identical situations to me personally. Still good, still can go and play some quality football elsewhere. Getting near the end of their career, maybe it's time to let others come in, such as Donny van de Beek. Donny van de Beek has to play more football, ladies and gentlemen. Donny van de Beek has to play more football. And the fact that United has got that rival fans, Chelsea fans, and all that screaming, why isn't Donny playing? We've got a talented player on our hands. Yes, it might be hard to get into that team ahead of Bruno and Pogba, which I think some people are already taking into consideration. But let's rotate it. Let's keep him fresh. Keep him fresh. Okay, let's keep on. We're coming off the Euros where, Bruno, Pogba, they've been playing a lot more. Donny didn't go, unfortunately, because of an injury, which means he didn't have that tournament to tire himself out. So maybe the start of the season we see Donny playing a bit more, assuming he's fit. And James Garner, I keep, went on loan last year. He's not going to play a lot of games, but I think he's one that could develop a little bit better being in that Manchester United environment. We head now to the forwards, and the forwards is where we get interesting. There's some controversial ones there you might be thinking. Cavani I'm keeping, did very well last season, purely also because we gave him a 1-year contract extension. I think this is definitely his last year at the top level of football, European football. Anthony Martial, thanks for coming. Adios, amigos. Anthony Martial, I sell. If you ask me personally, like I said, this is all my personal opinion, personal preference. By no means do I actually think they might do this. I'd much rather have Greenwood in at that striker position with Sancho and Rashford on the wing and Cavani as the backup striker as opposed to Martial. I'd maybe even prefer Cavani starting there. Cavani's movement off the ball last season was like, he was a mesmerizing player to watch. Someone, obviously, I knew him at Napoli, PSG, but I wasn't watching the league on week in, week out. Man United didn't miss a game, so you could see Cavani's movements and watch him a lot more closer. Good player, and the movement and the showing of the ball is exactly what Martial sort of lacks. So having Cavani there and Greenwood's growth is to the moon. Greenwood can go as far as anyone can. So I'd almost, maybe you sacrifice a couple goals, because Martial does get discredited a lot. And it's not that I'm one of the Martial haters. I'm thinking if we can get money for him to also then free up that cash in advance for an Erling Haaland. So I know maybe it goes against a lot of things I said in terms of growing Greenwood and stuff, but I'd much rather Greenwood and Cavani and seeing if we can get something for Martial as of now. Tahith Chong is another one I'm selling. He's had his chances. He went on loan last season. I know he did score for us the other day, but I'm selling him. There's something about him that I'm just not too convinced. You can see Alanga there, I'm loaning. Shortai, I'm keeping. He got a couple minutes last season. Decent player just have on and off the bench, just in case of injuries. Chong, though, is an interesting one. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you do disagree with any of the ones that I've said, but now we're going to the people that I'm buying. The people that I'm buying, look at the camera and it's flashing because it's about to die. Rafael Varane, Kieran Trippier, Jadon Sancho's are in there. Declan Rice. And I know every Man United player fan says the same thing. Now, I'm going to go bald. Saul from Atletico Madrid instead of a Declan Rice. Saul could be a very interesting one for us to sign. But at the same time, I think we've only got a Varane and a Trippier in us. I don't think we're going to sign another midfielder. So, in terms of that, keeping that in mind, I'm getting rid of the deadwood like a Matic and a Mata, and I'm freeing up space for an Erling Haaland next season. That's right, we're thinking in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you did enjoy, please like and subscribe. It all helps the channel out. Actually does help the algorithm. Make sure to share 1-0 with your friends and all that if you know your friend might like it. Drop in the comments who you would keep, who you would sell, and let me know if you want me to do your team next. If you enjoyed this new series, please let me know below. I'm Kos, this is 1-0. Deuces.